Good morning. Good morning. All right. Everybody have a couple of blocks. Hello, friends at home. Everybody have a good weekend. I know. Did Satish go away? Did he? Okay. To India or no? Okay.
Hi, it's me, Olivia.
All right. Is that Olivia
Yes, Olivia. Sorry.
or Sharon?
Olivia. Can you hear me?
Somebody, it just says iPad.
Olivia. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Debbie, can you hear me? Debbie.
You want to tell me who you are?
Olivia. Can you hear me, Debbie?
I can hear you.
Hi, Deb.
Hi, Deb. Olivia Harvey is the iPad one.
I can't hear you. Why?
Can you hear me?
There you. I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay.
That's Olivia Harvey that's on.
Okay. I thought
Thank
so.
you. Thanks, Debbie.
You're welcome.
And then Adrian, welcome. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and mute our friends at home. The mute button. We don't have the background noise. All right. Oh, thanks for signing them in. All right, so we are continuing our tour of the body. Everybody feel okay after last week's class?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah, good. A little bit of a challenge is good sometimes, right? So today, we've moved from hips to our shoulders, like Simon says. Shoulders. Last week we focused on leg strength, and today we're going to focus on core. The core helps our body in so many ways. I like to think of the core as our body's stabilizer. And I think the stronger the core is, healthier your back is. And then the health of your back, the muscles run down, or so as muscle connects to our thighs and then connects down to our knees. And just as we age, all of it gets compressed. All the walking we've done, it's just part of, I mean, some of it just, we can't reverse. We just have to maintain and keep at a healthy state. And so the core and the energy channels in the core. So when we look at kind of the sister practice to yoga, the Ayurvedic practice and this belief in the energy channels in our body, the chakras, our core really from right above the navel to just below the navel and then in our seat. I mean, that really takes all of those three energy channels into consideration. So having core strength helps clear out those channels. So it keeps our digestive system operating. I think there's, what was the statistic that my friend Jillian taught us? 80% of the messages to our brain come from our gut. Right. So if we can keep things moving freely in our gut, then the clearer our thoughts, the clearer we're able to react to stressful situations. Think about when your stomach feels all knotted, and then it almost instantly increases your stress level or your anxiety level. So core strength So all about the core today. So we are gonna start on our bellies. And it's a pose called crocodile pose. We wanna have our shoulders off the floor a little bit. So we stack our hands like this and place the forehead on the backs of the hands. Or you might wanna stack your forearms and see that height. It might be too high for your neck. So I would suggest trying it here first and then bringing the forehead to the back of the forearms. If that is too high, just slide the elbows out and stack your hands and rest your forehead. So come onto your belly and go ahead and try those two different ways, those two different positions. So try forearms first. And see if that's comfortable for your shoulders and your forehead. If not, then slide the elbows out, stacking the hands and resting the forehead against the back of the hands. So you notice how the shoulders are then a little elevated off the mat. With the legs, separate the legs so that your toes are pointing toward the back corners of your mat. And then another option for the feet, try turning the toes out so the inner ankle comes toward the floor and your feet are in more of a flexed state. Three breaths, inhaling through your nose, exhaling through the mouth. So really taking a full breath in through the nose, exhaling it out through the mouth. Yeah, and if it's not comfortable to have your feet out, you're welcome to bring the tops of the feet back to the mat. But definitely have everybody looks good. Rose, if you could separate your legs a little bit, just create a little bit more space there for the hips. Yeah. And then come to, after those three breaths with the exhale through the mouth, now inhale and exhale through the nose. Bring your awareness to your belly. As you inhale, feel the belly press into the floor, creating this added resistance helps to strengthen our diaphragm. So on the next inhale, really feel the belly pressing into the floor. We're also activating our solar plexus, so that area just above the navel. The chakra is called the Manipura chakra. The solar plexus helps our digestive system become balanced. This pose is one of the best to help work our diaphragmatic breathing. Oftentimes, we're only breathing from our chest, rarely getting that breath up from the diaphragm. When we breathe from the diaphragm, it sends a message to our nervous system, to our parasympathetic system, to say that we're safe and move us into a state of relaxation. So keeping your awareness on the breath, on the inhale and exhale. And see where you can soften now, maybe in the shoulders. Maybe softening the face, relaxing the face, the shoulders, the abdomen, the pelvis, the legs, and the feet. The eyes can be closed or just softening. Awareness drawn to the movement in our mid-torso and to the process of breathing. Letting your breath flow in and out in its own rhythm. Now bringing your awareness to your lower back. Noticing a gentle expansion of the low back and a flaring of the lower ribs out to the side. And as you bring your attention to the lower back, see if the muscles that support the back when you stand and sit, if they've relaxed a little bit. Notice the back of your waist, your lower back expanding with each inhalation and softening with the exhalation. Massaging the internal organs of your digestive system. Just expanding the awareness of the breath. And just take a couple more breaths here. Last inhale and exhale. And then to come out of this pose, start sliding the hands next to your ribs. Bring the legs a little closer together. Gently start to press yourself up. Push your seat to your heels, coming to child's pose. Maybe rock a little bit from side to side, just inviting in some movement. Inhale to rock up with a rounded spine. Exhale, push your seat back to your heels. 2 more times like that. Inhale, coming up to tabletop butt with a rounded spine, tuck chin to chest, and then exhale, push your seat to your heels. Coming back up to tabletop, walk your hands in closer and then just rock off onto your hip to swing your legs around. So we're meeting in a seat, crossing the legs or legs out long, whatever's gonna make it comfortable for you to sit comfortably for a few moments. And then hands to heart center, soften the gaze again or close the eyes and just give yourself a moment here to adjust to sitting upright, to being back to sitting upright, and take a moment to just notice how you feel after that opening pose. Notice how your breath feels right now. See if you can still pull the breath from the diaphragm. And exhale it out. We'll set our intention for our practice. So focusing on the core today, focusing on energy center in our solar plexus and just beneath our navel. So, what comes to you? What do you want to work on today as it relates to your core? And then we'll open with the sound of Om. So take a full breath in, exhale it out. See if you can pull the Om up from the root, from the diaphragm. So inhale. Take a moment to dedicate your practice to anyone who comes to your mind that you're grateful for. And then extend it out to all beings everywhere. Be grateful for all beings everywhere, from the little ant to the bear to the fish, the beings we can and can't see. And then we'll flicker the eyes open and grab a block. I want everybody to prop their seat up onto the block. So have it where it's the widest side of the block is coming under the sits bones. Lifting the seat up, but then coming forward on it so you're not sitting back and rounding the spine, but moving forward a little bit so you feel your sits bones right on the corners, right on the edge, and your pelvis then is rocking forward a little bit to get a long spine. Feel tall in your seat, beautiful. And then introducing a breath to you that helps to stimulate and fire up the core a little bit. It's called Breath of Fire. So first we'll do it with our mouth open on the exhale, and then we'll close our mouth on the exhale. So watch for a moment. So we'll inhale. We're going to exhale like that 10 times. When we exhale, bring all your awareness to this area of the navel. See if you can feel those lower abdominal muscles engaged, almost like they're pulling up a little bit toward your navel. So take an inhale with your mouth open. Now with the nose, or with the mouth closed. Inhale, normal. And exhale, normal. Anybody have any questions? Okay. We're going to do it one more round of doing it through our mouth and then doing it through our nose. So after the 10 exhales through the mouth, take a nice long inhale, and then we'll do the exhales with the mouth closed. Close the eyes or soften the gaze. And just bring all your awareness to the navel. Draw the belly muscles up a little bit. Feel that engagement. And then inhale. Inhale. And then come back to a natural breath and just, excuse me, notice any sensations. Just a couple more inhales and exhales to just feel any sensations in those lower abdominal muscles. And then beginning our Ujjayi breath. So that's where we place the constriction in the back of our throat on the exhale. So inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose, but trying to place that constriction in the back of your throat. So we're creating more of a, say, ocean sound. So again, feeling the fullness of your breath. And then I want you to rock forward. Bring the ankles on either side of that block, sitting back into hero's pose. So knees can be apart, or you can try and draw the knees closer together. If you need a second block to sit on to stack, go ahead and grab that to make it more accessible for the knees and thighs. And then we'll come into a twist. So keep that Ujjayi breath. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale to the right, dropping right hand behind. Left fingers coming to the outside of the knee. With each inhale and exhale, growing a little longer in your spine, and then moving a little deeper into the twist. So take 3 more breaths to move into the deepest part of this pose for you, the deepest part of the twist. So twists work our core. They also help in clearing out our digestive blockages. One more inhale. Exhale into the deepest part of the twist for you. It doesn't have to match your neighbor. And then inhale, floating the arms up, coming through center, twisting to the other side. 5 breaths to move your way into the twist. Adding the gaze, adding the head, looking over the shoulder, if that's comfortable. Again. Last inhale, exhaling into the deepest part of the twist for you. And then inhale, arms up by the ears, rock forward to tabletop, moving those blocks to the side. Drawing the navel towards your spine, feeling fully engaged in the core. Release tension though in the abdominals. So finding that balance between consciously engaging the core, but releasing tension. So knees are under hips, stack shoulders, elbows, and wrists. And then with that core engaged, lift into cow pose. So crown of the head lifts to the sky, tilt the tailbone up, and then exhale, draw the belly in a little bit more as you bring chin to chest and tucking the tailbone. Inhale through to cow pose and exhale into cat. 3 more rounds, inhaling into cow, feeling that engaged core. Exhale into cat. Inhale into cow. Exhale into cat. 1 more, inhaling into cow. And exhaling into cat. And then coming to neutral, extend the right leg back and then lift that right leg, turning the toes to the mat. Push through the heel. Feel your hips level. And then inhale, left arm up by the left ear, turning the hand to this exit wall. So other arm. and see how the hips move. And engage in the core here to take arching out of the back. And now inhale to lengthen. Exhale, draw elbow to meet the knee, rounding the spine. Inhale, lengthen. Engage in the core to bring the elbow to kiss the knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. One more. You can do it. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen, then drop back down, two hands and knees, and then make a C shape, shooting your hips to the left, bringing the gaze over the right shoulder. Inhale as you come through center, shift the hips to the opposite way, making a C shape. Two more times, inhale through center, make the C shape to the left. Inhale through center, making the C shape to the right. And then push back to child's pose for a breath. Inhale. And exhale. And just come to your elbows and rotate your wrists around. Figure eight or make circles. Full breath in. Full breath out. And then coming back up to tabletop, and we'll take that spinal balance on the other side. Extend the left leg back, lifting it up, level your hips, draw the belly in so that way you don't want to be in this pose where your belly is sagging and your back is arching. You want to draw the belly in, be strong across the shoulders. Inhale, right arm up by the ear. Push through the heel, reach through the fingertips. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, 3. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, 4. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, 5. So lengthen, inhale, and drop to tabletop. Make those C's again, bringing the hips to the left. Inhale through center, exhale into the C. Shape on the other side, keeping the belly engaged. And come to neutral, drop down to your forearms. So coming to our forearm plank. So your elbows want to be under the shoulders. So just wrap your hands, your fingers around your elbows to make sure the elbows aren't going out too far. And then bring them back and interlace your fingers. Step one foot back at a time, doesn't matter which one, coming up on the balls of your feet. And then lower the hips so your chest is reaching forward a little bit. Your gaze is looking down at your thumbs. Beautiful. If you have to come out of it, then come back in. And that'll be like this. So then you can push into the forearms to help build that strength. And then lower 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the arms out in front of you. So now the elbows are in front of your shoulders. Hands flat on the floor, fingers spread, finding our Sphinx pose. So mild back extension. Lengthen through the legs. Turn your pubic bone toward the mat. Lengthening up through the spine. Feel the chest open and expanding. Gaze looking ahead of your fingers. And find a drishti, a spot to just fix your gaze on. And then feel the breath Here too, like crocodile pose, feeling the belly. Press into the mat on your inhale. Releasing tension in the back. One more inhale. And exhale, lowering down, bring your hands by your lowest set of ribs. Tuck your toes under. Push yourself up and then back. And then lifting your hips high to the sky, downward facing dog. And take a few breaths to pedal out your downward dog. So drop a heel, bending the opposite knee, and alternate. And look between your hands. On an inhale, rock forward, dropping the hips, finding plank pose. Exhale back into downward dog. So rock between the two. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, downward dog. One more time. Inhale to plank. Beautiful, everyone. Exhale to downward dog. And then inhale to plank. And drop your knees down. And then coming to what we call supported side plank. So we're going to roll onto our right side. So turn, here's a little trick. Turn your right foot and calf just out to the side a little bit. And then roll onto your right hand as you come onto your left foot. You plant your left foot and take that left arm straight up. Lift your left hips up toward the sky. So then drop back down, face front for tabletop. And just take a look. We're going to roll into it again. And for some of you, you might want to challenge yourself and extend the bottom leg. So coming into a full side plank. So coming to tabletop. For those who are doing supported, turn that right leg out to the side a little bit. Then open yourself up. And lifting that left hip up to the sky in either pose. So working on getting that opening. If you're in full plank, come down when you need to. Yeah. And take a rest in child's pose. So everybody meeting in child's pose, wrap your arms around your legs. So the backs of your hands are coming to the mat and giving your wrists a little rest. Full breath in. Full breath out. And then rolling back up to find tabletop. And supported side plank, we'll move this left foot out to the side a little bit and then roll onto that left hand, dropping the right foot down. See how I'm lifting this right hip up. For those who are doing full plank, side plank, it's actually easier for full plank to come into it from plank. So start in plank, then roll onto the outer edge of your left foot, stack your right foot on top, flexing the feet. In either way, the right hip is reaching up. So Marilyn, see how you're dropping down? You want to kind of lift this up if you're doing full plank. And lower down when you're ready. You don't have to wait for my cue. And then push back to child's pose to rest at each week. So side plank in Sanskrit is called Vasisthasana. requires a lot of that core strength, a lot of that fire in the belly, so that you're not dumping as much weight in the shoulder, arms. And now we'll rock up to tabletop, bring your hands, a handprint in front of you, tuck your toes under, straighten your legs, lift your hips, find downward facing dog. And just find stillness here for a breath or two. Feel an engagement here in the core. So drawing the navel in toward the spine helps the hips lift a little higher to the sky. Bending the knees are fine. Check in with your neck. No tension in the neck. And now we're going to lift our right leg on an inhale. Lift it not as high as you can, but so the hips are level. And now put a slight bend in your left knee and push through the right heel to lengthen through that leg. So really engage in the deep abdominal muscles here. Flexing that right foot. And keep lengthening through that right leg. Beautiful. With that knee bent a little bit, we create a little bit of a tilt in our pelvis to help the hips stay lifting up to the sky. One more full breath in. Exhale, lower that right leg down, and then just pedal out your downward dog. If you want to rock forward to a plank and then push back. And then we'll take that on the other side. Inhale, left leg lifts, level out your hips, put a little bend in that right knee. So notice if you feel a little bit of a tilt in the pelvis and engage those lower abdominal muscles. Not really lower, just the deep ones. Beautiful. So working the core here, that navel is drawing toward the spine. So everybody have a little bend in the right knee. Beautiful. And one more inhale. And then exhale, lower that leg down, look between your hands, and walk the feet up to the top of your mat. Inhale, lifting up halfway. Float the arms out to the sides. So here too, we're engaging the core. For us to find a flat back here in our half lift, so you want the rounding to go away, and you want to feel lengthening from your low back. Beautiful, everyone. Out through the crown of your head. And then feel as if the arms are coming straight out from the shoulders. You might touch the fingertips of your neighbor. That's okay. So instead of like flying like an airplane, feel the lengthening. Beautiful. And then bend your knees. Lift the upper body, straighten the legs, drop the arms, Tadasana. Inhale the arms overhead. We're going to do one of our sun salutations, keeping that engaged core. So lowering into forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, bend the knees, plant your hands, step the legs back, finding plank pose. Rock forward onto your toes, shoulders past the wrists, lower knees down. Hug the elbows in as you lower the whole upper body at the same time to the mat. Hug the elbows into your side body. Inhale into a baby cobra, lifting the upper body. Exhale, tuck your toes under. Push your seat back to your heels.
Lift the hips, downward facing dog. Look between your hands and either a light hop forward or walk the feet up. Inhale, coming back to that half lift. Arms floating out to the sides. Bend the knees. Lift the upper body to stand. Straighten the legs. Lower the arms. Tadasana. Full breath in. Full breath out. And then grab your blocks. Place them on either side of your feet. And inhale the arms up by the ears. Come down through your heart center and then to your hips. Put a little bend in your knees. And we're gonna step the right leg back, finding a high lunge. So you might step it back and then you see how I'm kind of wiggling it back a little bit to find where I can feel my right leg fully extended and that I'm stable with my heel lifted. So your right heel stays lifted in this high lunge, your left knee bending to a 90-degree angle. Inhale the arms up by the ears. And then we're gonna drop that right knee toward the earth. Don't let it touch the mat. Inhale, come back to high lunge. Exhale, lower the knee. Inhale. Extend that right leg, exhale, knees dropping, don't let it touch. Keep going. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lower down. So working our glutes, our inner thighs, our psoas muscle, all important in this complex core system. Drop that right knee down. And lift it back up, yep. And then finishing up in high lunge. Hands to hips. Bring that right foot forward. Inhale the arms overhead. And exhale, come into forward fold. Bring a block or two blocks. So depending on where your hands meet the earth naturally. If they don't naturally reach the floor, bring the floor to meet the hands. So some of you might be folding in half and the hands are naturally coming to the earth. But if not, then use the blocks to bring the earth to you. Let the head hang. Let the head be heavy. Maybe shake the head yes and no. Feet are hip distance apart instead of together. So have a little, about a fist distance between the feet. One more breath here and forward fold. And then put a deep bend in your knees and roll up to stand. And find Tadasana and just rock back and forth, balls of your feet to your heels, just to find your rooting down. Find a spot ahead of you to fix your gaze on. Hands to your hips. Soften the knees. So weight goes in the right foot as you bring that left foot back. Take a moment to get set up here. So if you need to widen your stance, really feel grounded in that right foot. Left heel lifted. Inhale, arms up by the ears. And exhale, cactus arms, left knee dropping to the earth but not touching it. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Come down, inhale. Extend that left leg. Exhale, knee almost kissing the earth. Inhale, lengthen. Maybe turn the corners of your mouth up. And two more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Inhale to high lunge. And we make our way back to high lunge, hands to heart center. Push off that back foot. Inhale, arms come around. And exhale, dive into forward fold. This time, hold opposite elbows. When we do that, when we create this bind, we're helping gravity helps us then into the fold. So just feel like you're hanging like a Raggedy Ann doll. Full breath in. Full breath out. And then release that bind, bend your knees, bringing your seat all the way down to the mat and rolling onto your back. And setting up for some modified crunches. So bring your knees up and flex your feet. So your knees are at a 90-degree angle. Your toes are facing the sky. And then wrap your arms around your ribs. So fingertips reaching around the side of your body. And you're helping to draw you're stitching your ribs together. And then on an inhale, lift your shoulders off the mat. Gaze lifts in between your thighs. And exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift your shoulders off the mat, looking between your thighs. And exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift the shoulders off the mat. Exhale, lower down. Inhale to lift. And exhale, lower down. One more. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower down. Release the arms, bring them on either side of your body, palms face down and about 20 degrees away from the body. And then straighten the legs up to the sky. Keeping lower abdominals engaged. Start lowering the right leg. Don't let it touch the mat. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lowering left leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale it back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lower left leg. Really feel the whole back pressing into the mat. Lowering to an inch off the mat. Inhale that left leg back up. And hug the knees into the chest. Rock from side to side. Take an inhale through the nose and sigh it out through the mouth. Audible sigh out. You did it. Full breath in. Full breath out. Feet come to the mat. Grab one of your blocks and place it in between your thighs, setting up for bridge pose. So you want to bring this long side down toward your pubic bone so that the thighs really wrap around that block. And then bring your heels toward your sits bones. So you want to feel the back of your heel with your longest finger. So that's how close your sits bones and your heels are. And then let your hands rest on the floor again. On an inhale, begin to press into your feet and lift your hips off the mat. the back coming off the mat, the thighs hugging the block. The glutes are engaged, and the back is finding a beautiful extension here. The spine is finding a beautiful extension. Try not to turn your head in bridge, keeping our gaze and our nose facing the ceiling. One more full inhale. On the exhale, see if you can lift your hips just a little bit higher, and then lower down on your next exhale, slowly one vertebrae at a time. And keep the block where it is. We're gonna come right into another bridge. So press into your feet on your inhale, lift your hips. With each exhale, try and lift your hips a little bit higher. See where you can soften. So we're not over clenching or over grasping, we're just engaging. One more full inhale, see if you can lift the hips a little higher on the exhale. And then next exhale, lower one vertebrae at a time. And then remove the block and we'll come into a revolved abdomen twist. So keep the feet where they are. Lift your hips again, just an inch off the mat, and shift your hips over to your right, a couple of inches, and then drop the sacrum to the ground. Draw the knees into your chest, hug them in. They should be on a little bit of a slant, a little bit of an angle, and then let the knees drop down to the left. Take that right arm, extending it straight out from the shoulder. Feet are flexed. Your left arm either drops down to the floor, extending out from the shoulder, just like the other side. Or if you want to maybe go a little deeper into this twist, you can take your left hand, place it on your right knee, and just help guide yourself a little deeper into the twist. Another way to support this twist is by placing a block in between your thighs. If you're feeling any discomfort in the low back. So we've got 3 more breaths here. See how those breaths can move you deeper into this twist. Maybe help soften the right shoulder. Maybe help soften the belly while feeling the engagement in the belly. One more inhale and exhale. And then your next inhale, feel like gather in the belly as you lift the knees back to center and drop the feet to the mat, straighten out your spine. And we'll take the adjustment for the other side. Press into the feet, lift your hips an inch, shift them to the left now a couple of inches, dropping the sacrum back down, hug the knees into the chest, and then roll and rock them down to the right side. And then find that position for your arms like you did on the other side. 5 breaths here. Inhale, exhale 1. Inhale. So we're looking to have our knees almost in line with the navel. And then gaze is either looking up or turning the head to look out over the left arm. If that feels good for the neck. In your next inhale, feel it gather in the belly followed by lifting the knees back up, bring the feet to the mat, bring the spine back to neutral. Hug the knees into your chest, bring the hands underneath the knees, and we'll start to rock forward and back to bring ourselves up to a seat. And then grab your blocks. We're gonna come into a supported fish pose to have that be our final really active pose before we go into Shavasana. So bring one block. Both blocks are gonna be at the lowest. You wanna bring them toward the back of your mat. So take a look, when I lay down, this first block is gonna fall right in between my shoulder blades. Let's see, here's one and the other. I'm gonna rest that upper part of my thoracic spine on the first block, and then the other block is for my head. You wanna extend your legs out. We'll come back onto the forearms and the elbows. And you can use your fingers to then adjust that block so you feel it in between the shoulder blades. And then the other block meets the back of your head. And I can help anyone who's not finding that. And then arms are gonna come out to the side with the palms face up. Are externally rotating. And now soften the gaze or close the eyes. Bring all your awareness to your breath. Follow your breath. So notice where the breath starts. Breathing in. So you feel the breath help the chest to open. Those muscles that connect our shoulders to our chest. Our pectoral muscles. To use the breath to help soften those muscles. So this pose is just a beautiful expression of compassion and gratitude. It also helps to counter slouching in the back, rounding forward of the shoulders. Slowly start to bring the soles of your feet together and butterfly the knees out. Adding this gentle hip opener. So soles of the feet together, knees coming out. And just continue to follow your breath. Beautiful supine goddess pose. Then we're going to transition very slowly to Shavasana.
So a couple options, either start by bringing the legs together, so feet are on the mat. And then either you can push into the forearms and elbows to lift yourself up off the blocks, or you could roll onto one side, move the blocks out of the way, and then come to return onto your back without the blocks. And then take your feet as wide as your mat. Knees are still bent. Hands can maybe start on the belly just to give yourself a few breaths to feel the rise and fall of the breath. The legs can be apart, or you can maybe let the thighs and knees fall together. And at any point, you want to release the arms to the floor. Wherever the palms fall naturally, if they fall open to the sky, that might mean that you're needing to receive energy. If they fall where the palms are facing down, maybe you're in more of a grounding mood. And you can keep the knees bent if this feels good for your back, or if it feels better to extend one leg out at a time. And 5 breaths where you're inhaling through the nose and gently exhaling through the mouth. And with each exhale, silently saying, soften to yourself. Inhaling through the nose. Letting the breath go out through the mouth. After those 5 breaths, then just allowing the lips to close, the breath just inhaling and exhaling through the nose in almost a completely unconscious manner. Liminal, it's a fancy word. Often referred to in the design world as liminal spaces. But it's really about the in-between, when things are neither here nor there. Capturing the richness embedded in transition and ambiguity. So here in Shavasana, spending time in a liminal state of consciousness. The source of a tremendous wellspring of insight, creativity, and healing. The space between awake and asleep. slowly start to invite in a deeper breath. Start to wiggle the fingers, the toes. If the knees are still bent, straightening them, circling wrists and ankles. Inhale, the arms overhead. Take a long stretch. Draw the knees into the chest, rolling onto the right side. And just pausing on the right side for a couple of breaths. So we allow some energy to float down from the heart space so that we're not lightheaded when we come up. So take your time when you're ready, coming up to a seat, crossing the legs, and keeping the gaze soft or the eyes closed. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead, palms touch, drawing down gratitude to the heart space. A soft bow of the head toward your heart to thank yourself for being here. I thank you for being here. I thank you for inviting this practice into your life. Just noticing any sensations, anything from today's practice that you can take with you throughout your day. We'll Om on the next exhale, so take a deep inhale. The light in me sees and honors the light in each of you. Thank you so much. Namaste. Have a beautiful day. Thank you. Thanks, Deb, Adrian, and Olivia. Appreciate you all joining us.
Thank you very much. See you.
Thank you.
Welcome. Good core work, everyone. Yeah. Might not get rid of the, little extra stuff we've got, but it'll work the inside. Help keep our spine strong. You're ready. You're ready.